Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you up to date on Governor Brown's latest idea, an announcement from Shannon Grove, City Council news, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
I'm Tom Whitnick, and here's what's happening affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In news from Governor Brown of Sacramento, he has come up with a new program to reduce traffic fines and penalties. The New York Times has provided the governor's announcement. The harsh lessons of confrontation between the citizens and police of Ferguson, Missouri last year are registering nationwide, notably here in California, where Governor Brown is proposing amnesty for poor people buried under the escalating costs of unpaid traffic fines. It's a hellhole of desperation, Mr. Brown said. Underlying charges that the state has been exploiting low-income and minority residents caught a spiraling accumulation of court costs that they can't pay. After the police confrontation in Ferguson that took the life of Michael Brown and sparked community protest, the Justice Department criticized officials for a court system found to rate revenue generation for the municipal budget more highly than concerns for civil rights. Governor Brown proposes to start an 18-month amnesty program in October so that drivers with lesser infractions could pay half what they would owe, while administrative fees for lingering offenses would be cut from $300 to $50. Officials note violators' problems become compounded with unpaid fines and penalties that lead to suspended licenses and registrations in a state where a car is virtual necessity for employment. There have been 4.8 million driver's license suspensions in the state since 2006. According to the Associated Press, with the cost of running a red light quadrupling to $490 with add-on fees, then jumping to more than $800 for someone who can't pay. During the recession, the courts and other agencies increasingly relied on these fees because of state budget cuts. Governor Brown unveiled his amnesty plan as part of a budget that reflects the state's improved fortunes, including $150 million in estimated revenue from violators expected to accept amnesty. I wonder how they'll determine the poverty level to use this program. I'll be discussing this in tomorrow's KZGN News Talking Points. In news from Assemblywoman Shannon Grove's office, she has announced openings for interns at her district office and in Sacramento office. Applicants must be undergraduates and graduate students in college with an interest in politics and the government. In her statement, she says the following: "One of the great privileges of working as a legislator is working with young people who are interested in seeing firsthand how our government works and developing solutions to the problems affecting our state. Primary responsibilities include research, media, constituent services, and assisting on special projects. There are immediate openings in the Bakersfield office. The Sacramento office appointments will run from June 15th to September 15th. There are part-time and full-time positions available. To apply, go to ad34assemblygop.com and click on the internship application button. Other questions can be directed to Chief of Staff Kathy Abernathy at 661-395-2995. In local business news, Monarch Unmanned Air Vehicle Systems has announced that they have received an approval from the FAA on flight operations for their agricultural UAV. This UAV is an aerial vehicle that can be flown over farm fields and determine the water needs of the crops. It can provide real-time data to the farm operators to see if they are watering their fields correctly. It can let them know if they are overwatering or underwatering, thus reducing the waste of water when it is not needed. This FAA approval is ahead of a national approval covering operations of these UAVs. They received an exemption on the operation of the UAV needs to have a pilot's license. This is a common sense exemption. The UAV has the capability to be programmed to operate within the FAA flight guidelines. It can be programmed to only stay in certain areas and not exceed certain elevations. All of these are necessary to keep the UAVs from entering or interfering in regular airplane flight areas. The FAA exemption approval allows Monarch to start selling and using their UAVs right now. The exemption is nationwide and is good for 2 years. Without the exemption, sales were on hold and could have been held up for months or longer. Now they are free to start selling them or providing a service contract to provide the services themselves. In City Council news, we want to make sure everyone knows that City Council will be hosting their first Town Hall meeting since the last election. The Town Hall is set for June 10th, 6 p.m. at the City Council chambers. Cedric Knight of NDTI will be the facilitator of the meeting. This is something I campaigned on during the last campaign. I think informal town halls are a great way for elected officials to let the people get to know them better. It provides a good exchange of concerns and ideas. I commend Mayor Breeden for picking up on the idea and making it happen. I would only encourage her to have more of these. Anyway, the main topic for this first town hall will be economic development. The council has struggled over the years on how to promote economic development. Everyone recognizes that the Navy at China Lake is our main industry, and that makes Ridgecrest exist. So past economic development has always been tried to promote business in coordination with the base or promote diversification. The council wants to hear what we, the people, think we should do to encourage economic development. I know a lot of people out there have ideas of what should be done and what shouldn't be done. Anyway, put on your thinking caps. Let's get ideas from all of you out there. Attend this meeting and enter into the discussion. Economic development is important to have a thriving community. We need new ideas. We need you all to get involved. Some out there may have just the right idea we need. Don't sit home and just talk about it. Get involved. The City Council really does want to hear your ideas. The Town Hall is set for next Wednesday, 6 p.m., June 10th, at the City Council chambers. Plan on attending. And as far as economic development goes, we are still waiting for confirmation of the possible groundbreaking for the new Walmart Supercenter right now scheduled for July. I know most people out there still don't believe this is going to happen. I join you in your skepticism, but I am cautiously optimistic it will happen. And as a side note, the council will have their regular council meeting this Wednesday, 6 p.m. in the City Council chambers at City Hall. I'll have more details about the agenda in tomorrow's news. In news from the City Planning Department head, Matthew Alexander, he is helping the Planning Commission on a new ad hoc committee called the Gateway Specific Plan. It is intended to come up with a commercial development strategy for the vacant land zoned commercial in the vicinity of the new Walmart site. This ad hoc committee will work with the staff to develop a draft plan. While a development plan for the new Walmart has been approved, the surrounding areas around it could be rolled into a larger specific plan for the whole area. Alexander recommended the idea several years ago, but as the new Walmart stalled, there was little interest. Now with what looks like Walmart finally moving forward, we have a good reason to do the plan. The City Council will be asked to appoint one or two of their members to be members of this specific plan committee. The future use of the existing Walmart store will be addressed. Economic Development Director Gary Parsons will be involved and assist the committee. The plan will address land use, aesthetics, infrastructure, and financing issues. In other words, everything will be looked at. The committee will be asked to work with the staff to develop the draft plan. When that's complete, the plan will go to the Planning Commission and City Council for public hearings and adoption. The next meeting of the ad hoc committee will be 5 p.m. Tuesday, June 16th at City Hall. For more information on this committee, call Matthew Alexander at 760-499-5063. We'll be back with news from Ridgecrest Regional Hospital after the break. Welcome back. In news from Ridgecrest Regional Hospital, they have announced they'll host their 4th annual CPR Sidewalk event. It's coming up June 4th. Mark your calendar. It all happens on the front lawn of the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital this Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sounds of the Bee Gees Staying Alive will accompany activities, and there will be giveaways for attendees. Although not a certified event, the American Heart Association advocates the event after research revealed life could be saved without doing mouth-to-mouth. The value of their research found many are reluctant to provide mouth-to-mouth, but they have found by simply calling 911 and providing cardiac compressions, lives are still saved. It's a simple process that takes less than 15 minutes to teach someone. Bridget Mosier, Education Director for Ridgecrest Regional Hospital, said, "Countless lives have been saved by CPR procedures. Although this is not a certified training class, certificates don't save lives, but this procedure does. The hospital is providing the event, which in the past has typically seen between 70 to 100 people. This year, we hope for more by getting the word out. Mosier has herself heard stories where the hands-on procedure saved lives. The event is in conjunction with the American Heart Association in Kern County to save lives. The county will have many entities in the county providing this education on this particular day. This is the day the American Heart Association has selected statewide for the sidewalk CPR training event. You never know whose life you might save or who might save your life by using this simple but critical procedure. So I want to encourage everyone, get this training. You just never know when you'll need it or maybe even save a loved one. It is so simple but so important. Join Ridgecrest Regional Hospital for their CPR event and stay alive. Mark your calendar. It's coming this Thursday, June 4th. It all happens on the front lawn of Ridgecrest Regional Hospital on North China Lake Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On the heels of last month's special Adopt a Dog promotion in May, the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter has announced that June will be Adopt a Cat Month. This special allows adoption at no cost to adopt any cat. The Indian Wells Valley Humane Society has sponsored this special event. All cats will be provided with all their shots, examinations, license, and spay or neutering. In addition, the totally free cat adoptions, they are offering spay or neutering vouchers to get your current pet fixed, if it isn't already fixed. The vouchers are available for $25 for owned dogs and $20 for owned cats. The Ridgecrest Animal Shelter is located on County Line Road. They are open 5 days per week, Tuesday through Saturday. They are open 11 to 5, Tuesday through Friday, and from 10 to 4 on Saturdays. For more info, you can call the shelter at 760-499-5190. Now in our monthly report about the real estate market in Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Home sales are continuing at the same pace as the last few months, and home sales are moving faster now than they have been. During the month of March, we had 34 homes sell. They ranged in prices from $54,000 to $399,000. The total value of all homes sold totaled about $5.5 million. That produced an average home sale price at $162,000. The pending and escrow sales in the valley for April has 26 home sales pending. These homes are spanning from $67,000 to $262,000. So home sales are doing well. Interest rates are still at all-time lows, so now is a great time to get financed. Industry indicators are predicting sales prices increasing this year. The Ridgecrest Lions Club and Knights of Columbus are doing a fundraiser bingo event to support the July 4th fireworks display. This is their major event for the year. They need financial help from all of us to make the fireworks display great. The bingo event will be June 20th at Kerr McGee Center, 100 West California Street. Bingo begins at 10 a.m. The cost is $5 for 5 games. After the opening set of games, there will be more games and more sessions. For more info, contact Lions Steve Morgan at 760-375-2715 or Michael Lewis at 760-217-9015. They are also looking for sponsors for the fireworks. Call them for more info. Again, this bingo event will be June 20th at Kerr McGee Center. In Burroughs High School news, last Saturday the school held their graduation 2015. There were thousands of family and friends that joined in celebration of this milestone to honor Burroughs graduates' high school class of 2015. They graduated about 300 students. Gates opened at 6:30 p.m. at the Burroughs High School Stadium. It was an overflow crowd. People had to park as far away as Leroy Jackson Park and almost to Stater Brothers Shopping Center. Mesquite also held their graduation ceremony. They graduated 28 students. Everything went well at all these events. In other fundraising news, from the China Lake Museum Foundation, last Saturday they held their annual fundraiser at 5 p.m. at the Kerr McGee Center. This is the organization that funds operations of the U.S. Naval Museum and Armament and Technology on China Lake. The foundation is now announcing that they now have plans to move the museum off base into Ridgecrest. The dinner was well attended and lots of funds were raised. This will allow them to finally establish the museum in the city where access will be unrestricted. We will look forward to it moving into the city. KZGN-TV and Guns for Us are proud sponsors of this event. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's local gas prices for your information. Well, since Friday, prices locally and abroad have gone down slightly, which is good news. I read one report where they are predicting prices to continue to fall for a little while as we lead up to the July 4th holiday. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $348 to $429. Lancaster is going from $359 to $399. The LA Valley area is going $365 to $385, and the Bishop area $358 to $399. We have one station coming in at the $349 figure and another 3 stations at the $353 figure. Ridgecrest is still the cheapest price in the area and all other areas we monitor. Tune in with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally and fill up here to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. It looks like we're in a minor cooling trend, but first, the National Weather Service is forecasting a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of the Intermountain West and Northern Plains, from eastern Idaho across much of Montana and into western Dakotas. Meanwhile, there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of the Central and Southern Plains, as well as from the Mid-Atlantic to the Gulf Coast. Temperatures across the region: Massachusetts 48 degrees, Carolinas at 82, Florida in the mid-80s, Texas 82, Kansas 71, North Dakota 64, Colorado 75, New Mexico 78, Montana 67, Utah 82, Arizona 93, Southern Oregon 59, and San Francisco 62, and Los Angeles came in at 60 degrees. And for our weather here in the IWV, tonight will be mostly clear with a low around 60, breezy with a southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour. Tuesday will be sunny with a high near 94, south wind 5 miles per hour. Tuesday night, clear with a low around 61, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93, calm wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 60, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And on Thursday, it'll be sunny with a high near 90, light south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. The cooling trend will continue later on this week. Possible thunderstorms are forecasted for Friday, Saturday. Now back to Tom and the rest of your KZGN news.
Thanks, Keith. Now let's go to Tom Heck for sports.
And a very pleasant Monday afternoon to everybody. Let's start with Major League Baseball. I tell you what, the Angels own Detroit. Last year, about 1 year ago, almost to the weekend, the Detroit Tigers came in for 4 games, and the Angels swept them easily. 3 of the 4 games last year were routs. Well, this year, 2 of the 4 games were routs, same result. The Angels sweep the Tigers in 4 straight games. Now the Angels all of a sudden find themselves down by 4 games behind Houston, as Houston's starting to have falter a little bit, if you will. The Astros had their best May ever in program history, and they lead as we start June by 4 games over the Angels. We'll have the standings posted tomorrow for you. The Angels, by the way, have won 13 of the last 14 games against the Tigers. Meanwhile, the Dodgers in Missouri, they lose 2 of 3 against the St. Louis Cardinals. On Sunday, the Dodgers lost 3-1. All right, the Reds all of a sudden are red hot. They sweep the Nationals. They win all 3 games this past weekend in Cincinnati. And talk about sweeps. For the first time in the history of the Colorado Rocky organization, they go to Philadelphia and they sweep the Phillies all 3 games. All right, the Giants, who are the hottest team in baseball, all of a sudden they lose 2 of 3 at home to the Atlanta Braves this past weekend. The Giants are a game and a half behind the Dodgers. The Giants had the best May they have had in the last 5 years. However, they lose Saturday and Sunday to the Braves. The Astros, who were 6 games up in front of the Angels, now only 4. They lose 2 of 3 at home to the Chicago White Sox. They get shut out yesterday behind Milton Dank, 6-0. All right, the Brewers beat Arizona in 17 innings. 17 innings it took them to win 7-6. The Arizona Diamondbacks playing much better also. The Rangers playing very well right now. They take 2 of 3 from Boston down in Arlington. They win yesterday 4-3. Josh Hamilton, remember Josh Hamilton? The Angels paid millions and millions of dollars for Josh Hamilton. Didn't work out. They gave him almost for a song and dance back to Houston just to recover some of the money they lost. Well, he comes in, pinch hit double to win the game yesterday for the Rangers. The A's, who are in the bottom of the barrel right now, creeping up a little bit. They win 2 of 3 over the weekend against the Yankees. And the Mets beat the Marlins yesterday. The story there, Bartolo Colon, the first 8-game winner in baseball. He is now 8-2. NHL, the Ducks, they lose Game 7 at home, 5-3. The Chicago Blackhawks, when it comes to Game 7s, have won their last 4 times they have done that in the playoffs. All right, so it's going to be Chicago and Tampa Bay starting Wednesday for the Stanley Cup Championship. The first game will be at Tampa Bay. Chicago, a very good road hockey team, though, as we have seen throughout the playoffs. Tampa Bay beat the Rangers in 7 games. The last game was at New York. They win that game 2-0. All right, if you're an NCAA baseball fan, this is a great time of year. The regionals going on. They had all kinds of games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's still a few Game 7s left today going on. One of those is UCLA in Maryland. That'll be tonight. That game starts at 8 o'clock local time. And UCLA, the number 1 overall seed in the 64-team draw, that's now down to about 18 or 19 right now as we start Monday morning. They will play against a very scrappy Maryland team tonight, who all of a sudden is playing very good baseball. So we'll see what happens there. Cal State Bakersfield, they got to play in their first ever NCAA playoff game, and they actually beat Mississippi on Saturday. They lost to UCLA Friday night 4-1. They lose to UCLA yesterday, so they're out. But what a great job that program has done in the 4 years that it's been Division I baseball. Also, Cal State Fullerton wins their regional. They beat Pepperdine. And if you want excitement, watch today's game between California and Texas A&M. On Saturday, those two teams played 14 innings, with California winning on a walk-off home run. And yesterday, the same two teams in an elimination game played 12 innings. Now, that sets up tonight's championship game between Cal and Texas A&M for the College Station Regional. The winner goes on to the Super Regionals. Okay, in NASCAR, Jimmy Johnson wins at Dover, 10th time he has done that. NBA news, Cleveland and Golden State open up Thursday. The Pelicans sign Alvin Gentry. Gentry was the Golden State Warriors associate head coach, former Suns head coach. The Bulls are going to sign Fred Hoiberg. He was a college coach at Iowa State. He's going to get about $5 million a year, according to the Chicago media. And the Magic have hired Scott Skiles as their new coach. Skiles coached with the Suns, the Bucks, played at Orlando for 5 years during his NBA career. College softball tonight, World Series starts. It'll be Florida and Michigan for their 3-game best-of-3 championship for the NCAA softball crown. That's your sports on a very busy Monday. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing us, KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station.